Mateo County Sanitation District meeting for today, Monday, November 24th, 2025. There are two ways to submit public comment. One is through submit written comments by meeting day, and number two, attend the meeting in person. To submit written comments by meeting day, please email dwwr@dalycity.org and include public comment in the subject line. All written comments received by 4 p.m. on the meeting day will be provided to the board members prior to the meeting. Please note, any email comments received after 4 p.m. on the meeting date are not guaranteed to be received by board members prior to the meeting. Comments are not read aloud into the record. To speak at the meeting in person, please complete a speaker card located at the entrance to the council chamber and submit it to a staff member as early in the meeting as possible. Persons with disabilities who require auxiliary aids or services in attending or participating in this meeting should call the board clerk at 650-991-8200 ASAP. All right. So can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Giovanni?
Present.
Ms. Manalo? Present. Ms. Bruano?
Present.
Mr. Glenn Sylvester?
Glenn Sylvester, present.
And Dr. Rod?
Present. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I have
Oh, yeah.
a motion.
Sure.
Second.
Oh, we're doing is it the sanitation?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Okay.
Did we get a motion, Mr.
Oh, you got a
Mayor?
motion? We got a second?
Yeah.
My bad.
If I may, I'd like to have a question on item number 2.
Okay. Got you. Okay, so with that, can we have a friendly amendment to changing your motion to?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're good.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so item number 2.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, yes.
Make it easier for the director.
Okay.
Mr. Cosgrove. I'm questioning on page number 7 and page number 8. It seems like quite a bit of money, a lot. And one of them said they worked with the tenants to, they found several leaks. But I think $7,000 is quite a bit. I mean, I remember before, Water sent out these tablets to have them check, and I mean, I think that's a good job. I mean, is there anything out of the ordinary that we don't see here? Because they seem kind of similar on 7 and 8. Through the base period.
I think 91 Hillcrest, I believe, is in a multi-unit, so it's a multi-unit building.
Yeah.
So the usage, if you had multiple leaks in that building, then that's probably why the usage was so high. I do not know the details of this specific appeal. They did use the actual annual usage to adjust that grant, and I believe the number is so high because it's a multi-unit building, so that if you broke it down per unit, it's probably a smaller amount per unit. But I don't know the details.
I just had something else to add to that. So in these cases, typically, this is the type of credit that would be awarded. And if you see the actual annual usage, that's 516
16.
units. So the bill, they still will receive a bill for just over $5,500. It's just that having them pay the actual bill that was sent out of $12,000 was excessive based on what the usage actually is.
Wow.
So it is a large credit, it's a large dollar amount, but the bill itself was over $12,000. So they'll still be paying over $5,500 in sanitation fees based on actual usage.
Okay. How does that relate? I know it's a different piece of property, 839 Bellevue, which is the next page. But we're looking at actual annual usage. It's much lower of 172, but yet the bill is close to $8,000. Right, 153, too much money.
Correct. The actual, what will end up being paid is just less than, it's about $1,850, just less than 2,000. But the credit is significant. As you notice, what the actual usage will be for that year is relatively insignificant, taking into account that not the base period, but the actual usage. It's a much different spread in terms of how much is actually going to be paid versus how much is going to be credited due to the fact that the base period was so high.
May I through
Yeah.
the mayor?
Go right ahead.
I just had a quick question, only because when I'm reading this 839 Bellevue, it says that the high usage, I mean, it would be concerning because it says that the house was vacant. So how does someone use this much water when it's vacant? And they didn't find any leaks. So was someone stealing the water? I mean, how do you use that much water?
I do not know specifically what happened with this address. It could be something like that, where someone was using it, either accessing the house without the owner's knowledge,
Okay.
or it could have been a leak that when they went to go check, they could not find it, but somehow or another the leak went away, or they corrected it and just were not able to say how. That is a dramatic amount of water that was used, though, and you can see that it went down to nothing afterwards. So something was corrected, and so their water bill is going to be high. But because this occurred in the winter months when we calculate their sewer usage, it does throw off their usage,
Okay.
which is the reason for the adjustment.
So I'm just pulling it up. It just, I mean, did that water usage happen all in one time? I mean, the only reason I'm saying, it's just a regular 3-bedroom house. So an empty 3-bedroom house the houses are all stuck together. So, I mean, I just don't understand how that can happen. Yeah,
Just in terms of the length of time, the base period is the January, February time period, so it's 2 months worth of usage.
correct. So 2 months of usage, how, I'm just trying to figure out how they get an annual credit of $7,000, almost $8,000, right? They get that credit because they found extra usage and then they reported it, but there was no leak?
If I may, the wastewater bill is calculated based on their water usage.
Got it?
So, and we calculate that based on water usage in winter months, so that we take out any kind of water that's used for landscape that's not going down the sewer. So that's why it's calculated in those months. And when water is used this much during the calculation period, it just throws off the whole year, because not all that water went into the system to where we had to treat it and spend costs on it. So what we do is we just look at what they spent the entire year, so their actual usage that they spent the entire year, not just that calculated period, and it gives us a more accurate viewpoint of what the actual amount of water was that flowed into their sewer line, which then flowed into our sewer system.
Okay.
And they are paying for that usage during that base period. They are paying for the wastewater treatment plant having to treat that flow during the base period of 153 units of wastewater.
Okay.
They are paying that. The credit is for the calculation that Director Cosgrove is mentioning, we take that base period and multiply it by 6 to get an annual estimate of
Okay.
wastewater flow. And in this case, we know that the wastewater flow will not be 1,000 units of wastewater.
So that's where it adjusts, so the family then has a reasonable bill.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the explanation.
Through the mayor? I have a quick question. So when we were watching these numbers and you guys know the estimate of what each address is or whatever, is there any way, or do we send a notice out if we think there's a possible leak to someone? If it sounds like something so like that's off the charts, so that they can look and to see if they have a leak, or do we have any way to notify them?
Yes, utility billing staff, when they see meter reads that are
Yeah.
different than normal, reach out to the residents. They also send leak detection kits to the residents so that
Okay.
the residents can search them for themselves. And most residents, end up maybe getting a plumber or something to look for a leak or to find a leak.
Yeah, because some leaks are difficult to detect, right?
But utility billing staff reaches out to customers with
Thank you.
Abnormal readings.
Thank you very much.
Through the mayor.
Yes, go for it,
And,
Susan.
I recall a long time ago, I had a toilet that was running. And I remember getting, did you guys do like a phone call or something where it wasn't just, I don't think it was, I thought it was a recording. But somebody's saying you have, it looks like you have an issue, So it does, something triggers that, and then you contact the homeowner. So,
Yeah, correct. Every meter is read every 2 months
Okay.
in the entire system.
yeah, it helped me, because then I went looking and I had one, so, yeah, thank
good.
you. Yeah.
Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate, and I'm slowly starting to understand this, and every time we have one of these meetings, I try to scrutinize a little bit. I like the proactive steps that are taken by wastewater. However, I look at the other side of it, and that's the folks who live in Daly City. Oh, wait a minute, you guys gave an annual credit. If we add up all these pages, we're looking at close to 25,000, and somebody's going to question, well, wait a minute. That's why our water bills, well, they may say that, but I'm trying to put myself in the constituents' shoes and says, well, you wrote off 25,000 in credits this biweekly meeting, and throughout the whole year, how much in annual credits did we write off for the whole entire year? And I'm wondering, could have been a credit to the constituents in the sense of their water bill being adjusted throughout. I'm just begging the question, that's all, but I'm a little bit concerned. I appreciate the proactive steps that are taken, but this seems quite a bit, and hopefully we can get a handle, whether it's additional awareness for our constituents. Have you checked your water lately? Don't leave it to us to always tell you, and things like that. So that's the only reason why I'm asking the question, because these are some pretty large numbers. And I hope as we continue that I can better understand, because I know every situation is different. Okay?
Yeah, thank you for that. If I could just make a statement. So there are two separate bills tonight we're talking about the sewer service charge, which
Right.
is an annual charge. But the other bill is a water bill. So two separate funds, the water fund and the sanitation fund. The customers are billed for the water that is used, that is metered. So if they do have a leak, we'll reach out to those customers and try to have them fix their leak so there's not wasted water. But the water is charged. We do charge for that water, if there was a leak or not a leak, but then we try to help residents get to the source of the problem as soon as possible.
Appreciate
On the
that.
wastewater side, we are still billing for the annual usage that comes to the treatment plant in the form of wastewater. So all the units of wastewater that come to the treatment plant, that is being billed per the wastewater rate, $10.71 per unit. So we are billing customers for that. So there's not a loss of revenue. The credit is just taking into account that we don't want to penalize somebody for having
Right.
a leak in the winter when we're calculating the annual sewer charge. So the annual sewer charge is only based on what customers utilize in January and February of a given year. We take that 2-month usage and we multiply it by 6 for every single customer, every single wastewater customer. We're not losing anything. We're just crediting back people for wastewater that never makes it to the treatment plant.
I get it. All right. Well, I remember Councilmember Manalo and I, we sat on this committee when we were discussing raising the rates. Now, were we raising the sewer rates or or did we raise the water rates?
The last time, I think, was sewer, yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, based upon where you live in Daly City, like I believe it's Sir Monty Ridge, it's not serviced by Daly City, but instead through Coma, and to which Coma charges more from the beginning.
Right.
So, and I've asked that the
Yep.
funds not be commingled, that they're kept separated so that the other folks within Daly City are not subsidizing the extra rates of what everybody's charged as to, and we have no control because that's the way the pipes go. All right, so it's a lot to learn, but I'm steadily picking up on it. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can continue to do a good thing and at least be transparent to the public and letting them know. Thank you.
Great.
And just,
Go
I just
right
want to
ahead.
piggyback on what he's saying. So what I'm understanding is, it's not like we're losing those credits. What you are is you're adjusting so that the repair was done, then you see that their usage, and then you look at their usage, and then it's based on those 2 months so you adjust the base charges. And that's where we look at that. But in reality, all it is they find a problem, and if there's a problem, they fix it, and then you readjust, because you don't want to have it on the high end and then charge them as if they're going to use that much water, correct? So that's what I got. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right.
Thank you.
With that being said, I motion that we approve.
Great. Yes, can I get a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Enter the consent agenda, and we off to our next agenda item is public appearances and oral communications. Seeing none for this meeting, we'll move on to new business. Is there any reports from the Board of Directors? Seeing none, move on to item number 5. Are there any staff reports? Seeing none? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the information. We'll start.
Looks like Councilmember Carano understands it better than me, so he may
No,
have to talk.
Feel free to get speaking cards that are at the entrances. Yeah, and submit it to the clerk right in the front. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Everybody ready? Okay, looks like it. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the regular meeting for the City of Daly City today, Monday, November 24th, 2025. There are 3 ways to submit public comments. Submit written comments by meeting day. Number two, submit written comments during the meeting. And number 3, attend the meeting in person. To submit written comments by meeting day, please email the city clerk at dalycity.org and include public comment in the subject line. All written comments received by 4 p.m. on meeting day will be provided to the city council prior to the meeting. Please note any emailed comments received after 4 p.m. on the meeting day are not guaranteed to be received by the city council prior to the meeting. Comments are not said aloud into the record. Number 2, during the meeting, you may visit www.dalycity.org/agendas to submit comments using the public comment form to address the city council on a specific item or during the public comment period. And such comments are delivered to the city council and city staff during the meeting and may be read into the record at the time they are received. To speak at the meeting in person, please complete a speaker card located at the entrances to the council chamber and submit it to a staff member as early in the meeting as possible. Persons with disabilities who require auxiliary aids or services in attending or participating in this meeting should call the office of the city clerk at 650-991-8078 as soon as possible. Okay, so I want to call the order to this meeting, and the city of Daly City acknowledges that we are on ancestral lands of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. We recognize their enduring connection to this region and honor their history, culture, and contributions. As indigenous protectors of this land, we affirm their sovereign rights as the original inhabitants of this land and pay respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. If you can please all join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, or Pledge of Flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Ms. City Clerk, if we can have roll call, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Present?
Ms. Perano,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester,
Glenn Sylvester, present.
Ms. Manalo,
Present.
Dr. Rod.
Present. Okay. And I have a motion to approve the regular meetings of October 27th, 2025.
Mayor, may I have a change for October 27th on page 3?
Okay.
For the appointment of Chief Christensen, I did read a letter of recommendation, if you do recall. There is no note of that at all on the minutes. And now for that, I'd like that to be put in the record, and I can give the city clerk a copy.
Great. Okay, so if we could make those notes, Ms. City Clerk, for the regular meeting of October 27th, 2025. We get the motion.
Okay, motion to approve with those amendments.
Okay, can we get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Can I get the approval of minutes for the meeting of November 10th, 2025?
Motion to approve minutes for November 10th, 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Can I get the motion of approval for the agenda for the regular meeting of November 24th, 2025?
Approval of regular meeting of November 2024 for the
Okay.
approval of agenda.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I know there's a lot of y'all, so I'm expecting some public comments or oral communications, so, yes. Here we go. So just a little bit of note, speakers are limited to 2 minutes unless modified by the mayor. The council cannot take any action on any matter raised under this item.
All the same.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. So first one we have is Jennifer Flowers, and come on up.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Flowers, and I am a nurse at Seton Medical Center here in Daly City. I've been a registered nurse for over 25 years in emergency medicine. And tonight I'm here asking the members of the City Council to please support the nurses from Seton Medical Center. Not only is it for our cause, but it's also for the community. Come with great concern about the conditions of the hospital. I've honestly worked at various hospitals throughout the U.S. and in the Bay Area, and Seton Medical Center is definitely the most mismanaged hospital I have ever been employed by. Seton is so vital. It is the only one in that area. And I can tell you just how important this is. And I don't mean to sound graphic or anything like this, but one of the reasons that it is so important to address safe staffing issues at this hospital is the people of the community are suffering. When a person comes in with their dead child, they should be greeted with a nurse, a doctor immediately. And those things are not happening because the staffing is not. They are met with a locked door because the staffing, there is no nurse out there. And I just feel that it's unfair to our community to continue to allow this hospital, who's been given so many grants, so much money, and they've mismanaged it, and we're not providing the staffing that we need. We're not doing safe patient care. Sorry, I'm shaking. There's nothing worse than trying to resuscitate a child and not have proper working equipment. I do not think you understand how important that is, to hear a mother's cry, to beg her to bring that child back, to beg God, and you have nothing but your own experience and failing equipment. I was lucky that day I was there because most of the times there's not that many nurses. Many days it's only 3 to 4 nurses staffing that emergency room, and it's just not enough. There are guidelines by the CDPH that are not being met, the staffing ratio rules. Nurses are being asked to fraudulently change their documentation to meet the staffing ratio laws. They are also asking to change their documentation to have higher reimbursements for the patients that we care for. Our nurses are inexperienced. We have new grads training new grads. No, and people like me with 25 years of nursing experiences are refused to allow to work by administration. The nurses that have the most
thank you.
experience.
That was time.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
No worries. No worries.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for your words, Jennifer. Next, we have Alden Poe, or Pon? Pon?
It's Poe.
Poe. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you. So my name's Alden Poe. I'm also a registered nurse. I work at Seton Medical Center. I'm in both the tele-med-surg acute care department and the outpatient wound care department. I've been there for about 2 years now. Seton has a reputation that precedes itself, and for a very long time it has not been a good one. I grew up in this area, just over the border in San Francisco, and I knew that Seton had its issues for quite some time, but I didn't know the extent to which they went until I started working there. Before I get into any specifics, I just want to impress upon you that all matters of healthcare at all levels, in any capacity or role, directly impact the quality of care that is provided to patients. And those patients are our neighbors and community members here in Daly City and in southern San Francisco. So these patients are the reason that we nurses come to work every day, and frankly, it breaks my heart to see that they are not getting the care that they deserve and that they need. First off, we simply don't have the staff to provide adequate, quality, well-rounded care to these patients. Many of the shifts that I work don't have CNAs. They don't have adequate amounts of transporters. We don't have patient care technicians in most or any of our departments. There's only specific windows of time where we have trained phlebotomists to draw blood. Any time that we lack these critical positions, the roles of those positions fall on the nurses. And frankly, when those roles fall on nurses, it takes away from our ability to focus on core and critical nursing skills and core and critical nursing duties. And we're not able to provide the adequate care to these patients that they need. AHMC is not competitive in wages or benefits packages for nurses in comparison to other hospitals in the region. It's not even close. I mean, we're like 20% behind. And they're not making a legitimate attempt to retain or attract staff to stay at this hospital to treat our community members. People come into this hospital with a plan ready to go, to leave, to go somewhere else. We see a lot of new nurses come in here and they get trained, and then once they're off training, they train other new nurses. It happened to me. It's happened to most of the people in this room behind me. And when we have that level of inexperience, it is a direct impact on patient care and safety.
Thank you.
Everybody here is hardworking, but there's only so much we can do when leadership isn't behind us. Thank you.
Good words. Next is Shorft Adam, or Adam Shorft? Sharif. Sorry.
All right. So I would like to request some extra time, if that's okay. Maybe like an hour, or sorry, not an hour. I could go on for an hour, like 3 minutes. Is that all right?
I can grant you 3 minutes.
All right, awesome. So I would like to start by saying I'm also a registered nurse, but I don't currently work at Seton. I used to. I started my career there at Seton. I've learned a lot. Learned a lot that helped me move to other hospitals and improve and become better at those other hospitals. So Seton is great for that, but it's only great for that because it's like a trauma environment where if you can survive, you can grow because it's so mismanaged. There's so few resources, like has been told before by Jen and Alden, that you have to kind of grow. You have to learn to kind of, it's like being in the military, right? If you learn that field medicine on the Army with nothing, literally nothing, that's what it feels like at Seton. And so when you go somewhere else where you have all these resources, it's a whole different experience. So it breeds great nurses, but not for the reasons that you would generally think would be the case. Now, why I'm no longer at Seton. The real reason why I'm not at Seton anymore is because of it's because of management's practices toward us that stem from the top down. Literally all the way from the top down to the owners, all the way down to the direct managers. Let me give you a story that will perfectly frame exactly what I'm talking about. There was one day in the ED where we were being slammed. Now, if you don't know what a code 3 is when somebody comes in, very critical. They need immediate attention. At any given time, our matrix only allows for about 3 to 7 nurses. And 7 nurses is really, that's we're lucky. So this day we had maybe 5 nurses and we had 30 patients on the board, right? We can only really handle 20 patients at any given time, and that's if we're adequately staffed. With 5 nurses, we're only really supposed to have 12 patients maximum. But when you look at the acuity, we would fall out of ratio. But this day, one of the higher ups, I won't say who, was there, part of the C-suite. He was watching. He has the ability to approve overtime. Our charge nurse was begging him, let more nurses stay. There was nurses who were willing to stay and nurses who were willing to come in early. He said he looked at all of this that's going on. He says, well, you guys are so great here at Seton that you guys can handle it. And he just walked away, disappeared. Seton cannot be run, the hospitals can't be run with an attaboy and a pat on the back, which is basically what happened there. Had we just been allowed 2 more nurses, patient care would have improved. Patients would have gotten the proper care that they deserved. Because now you have critical patients being watched by a nurse who's also watching multiple other patients, some of them also critical. This is not an uncommon situation. I myself have had to handle 4 patients at the same time who are very critically sick. Any other hospital, that would not fly. Each one of those patients would have 1 nurse taking care of them until they got switched over to the proper unit, which is another problem because these patients can sometimes last hours before they're switched to the appropriate unit. And frankly, the emergency department is not the appropriate place to hold those patients who need these specific care and the training necessary by those nurses on the floors. So that's one example. Another example is just the lack of the management and the ownership puts their burdens onto the nurses and expect us to cover the gap. A perfect example is in the ortho department, the orthopedics department. They're doing surgeries and they haven't paid their bills in so long that auditors are coming and repossessing their supplies in the middle of surgeries. I ask you, how can you run a hospital in that way when you're not willing to put the money and the resources where they're supposed to? And then you're asking us, the nurses, to cover the gaps. Thank you for your time.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next, we have Cielita Capistrano.
Hi, I was hoping if I can request 6 minutes
Oh, I
of your
can't do that.
life.
That's too much. If there's like just specific points because we have a long agenda.
I
ahead of
will
us.
try my best because I worked so hard on this speech. Please pause it. It hasn't begun yet. Okay, me.
We'll start when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay, if we could reset the clock to 2 minutes, please. Or
Yeah, I will try. I
Okay.
promise. Thank
Go
you,
right
Mayor
ahead,
and
Senator.
Council City members. My name is Shalita Capistrano. I've been a nurse for a little more than a year now. AHMC Seton Medical Center has been my main source of livelihood to pay for my bills, especially my student loans as a new grad nurse. The senior nurses at the telemetry and med-surg floors I work at always say, "You're probably just gonna leave too, just like everyone else." I remember getting confused why my coworkers would say that to me. But as time went on, I started to realize when I started caring for my own patients, why they were saying that to me. The number one reason is recruitment and retention. I'm speaking for myself on this stand. I genuinely really love being a nurse, but it's very mentally draining to care for your patients alone. I'm supported by my colleagues on the floor, yes, but majority of the time we have no extra help, meaning us nurses will have a full assignment of 4 to 5 patients. We have to stand as the CNAs. We have to feed and turn our patients at least every 2 hours. We have to help transport them to discharges or to their procedures. We have to deal with family complaints why the discharge of their loved ones is delayed. We have to deal with burnt out doctors. We have to pass meal trays just so our patients can eat. On top of all of that, we have to make sure that we pass our scheduled medications on a timely manner. This hospital requires us to clock in exactly at 7:30 in the morning and clock out exactly at 8 o'clock at night. But with all the things that you have to do as a nurse with no extra help, sometimes it's just impossible to finish your job within a 12-hour period. The fact that some nurses can be bullied by the management to stay back to finish their job even after clocking out because the hospital refuses us to pay the overtime we need to accomplish the task they expect us to finish is just impossible for me to grasp in my head. There's been a lot of times I come home crying because I'm emotionally, mentally, and physically tired. Those are the days that solidified that being a nurse is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I want to stay in the hospital, but our patient census has decreased throughout the short time I've been working as a nurse, which resulted in cancellation of the nurses. So what does that mean for us? Our paid time off and sick leaves are coming from the same exact pool of hours. I managed to finish my PTO hours because at some point I would get canceled so much since there weren't enough patients coming in the hospital, which gives us no options but to show up to work even if our mind and body doesn't feel good since we have no hours left to use. I've seen this hospital risk the patients and the licenses and the safety of our patients way too many times. That's why I'm speaking up for all of my overworked, underpaid nurses and for all of the vulnerable patients. One person can't simply do 2 to 3 people's jobs. And the fact that at some point I was fighting for my other colleagues that were supposed to be laid off. Kitchen workers, unit clerks, their job might seem so small, but us nurses end up picking up everything else. This hospital allows us to risk our licenses and jeopardize care, and that's not acceptable. We need to work in an environment where we can grow as a person and as a nurse for the benefit of the patients. This hospital wants to attract more patients, but I personally told my family members that if something were to happen to me, I beg them to drive an extra mile to take me somewhere else and not the hospital I'm supposed to be loud and proud of. Us nurses at Seton Medical Center are not asking for the impossible, just extra help. Even the nurses in the emergency department are dealing with retaliation just for speaking up for themselves and their licenses. Our nursing license and our body are our bread and butter. We chose nursing, yes, but this hospital has a responsibility to make sure we have all the resources to be the best nurses we can to provide the care that will bring more patients in. I think about how the management in this hospital expects to get a good rating, but the majority of the time, we don't even get to deliver even the bare minimum for the patients that we deserve. I don't know if speaking in this council meeting will help our situation, but as a new grad nurse, I'm pulling all my cards I can to make sure me and my coworkers behind me and the other ones who couldn't show up here tonight to be the best nurses we can be for the patient and the community. I'm tired of trauma bonding with my coworkers. We all deserve the burnouts at this stage of my career is unacceptable. I was actually a fresh growing tree when I first started as a nurse, but the management sure knows how to kill my roots as a young nurse that's supposed to still be filled with life and excitement. To all of you who are listening with us tonight, thank you. Please support us and support the one and only standing hospital in the Daly City community. We have a lot of potential. We just need the right people to maximize our resources to be our best for all our patients, because that can be one of you someday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for voicing out your opinions and giving us some insight about what's going on in our community. But just to reiterate, we cannot take any action or comment in any matter that was presented today. And so I don't see any more cards, so we're just gonna go proceed to the next. Okay. Is,
Difficult.
that's it? There's just only 1, 2, 3, 4.
What happened to it?
They could come up, though.
What was that?
If-
I mean, if you want, you could
Didn't
have
get one.
a sign-up list.
Yeah, you could come up and fill one out after.
Yeah.
I think you're.
My name's Karen Davy. I've been a registered nurse at Seton for 38 years. That means I've been there through all the ups and downs of the hospital over the years. In regards to the current owners, AHMC, there's a problem with recruitment and retention. It's linked to staffing, appreciation, support. There really are only two issues driving these problems. It's our benefits, our wages, and then also hiring practices. We're pretty much 20% lower than any other hospital in the area, that's according to our pay. And when you're hiring new nurses, new grads all the time, and then they leave within, 6 months to a year after they get trained, only to leave for a job elsewhere because they're paying higher. That's the reason why they leave. Seton's one of the only ones hiring new grads. So, they'll come and work and then leave, and it's really hard on the morale for everybody. It makes for staffing ratios that are low on experienced nurses. So when you have a floor, you need to have a good ratio of experienced nurses, new nurses, also the ancillary staff that they're talking about. They just don't have that there. I work in the GI lab, so I'm doing procedures, so it's a little bit different for us, and it's been maybe a little bit better for us, I think. But, we need to support the nurses. We don't want them to go elsewhere. We want them to stay with us. I mean, I've been there so long, and I would like somebody else to stay so long. And I know we're just asking to be respected by the owners and the administration. We need to have our contracts negotiated in good faith. We wait a year without a contract, and they do that on purpose. We shouldn't have to bear the burden of going a year without a contract. They delay it on purpose. They don't have to pay our wages for that year that they delay it. And then, it's becoming a trend. They did it last time we had a contract. They're doing it this time we have a contract. We need increases in our benefits, and that way we can compete and we can retain our nurses and we can have retention. We need a broader mix of nurses. We need to restart the journey into becoming more like the great hospital I started working at 38 years ago. It's been a really vital part of the city, and I've loved working there. Please remember the nurses and doctors and staff at Seton when they come requesting zoning changes and they want to build all these things there and they want to change the zoning. They have to take care of the hospital first before they do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Mayor.
I'll fill it out, the green slip, but.
Yes, please. If anybody's willing to speak, if you could fill out a card now, because we definitely have, well, go ahead and speak, but everybody after you, because we have a huge, like a long agenda.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, so my name is Rihanna Felix, and then I am an ER nurse. I've only been at CNETS for 6 months, but I've been a nurse for a year, so I'm a new grad. And I can attest to everything that Jennifer and Sharif and everyone said where new grads are training new grads. Like, I was training someone last week, and I've only been there for 6 months. It's lightweight, the blind leading the blind over there. I do miss all the experienced nurses. Like, there's people there who had like 20, 25 years of experience. They got driven out because the manager just doesn't give them their vacation, doesn't give them the schedule they want. And I kind of feel unsafe as a new grad because I need someone to learn from or someone to ask questions to. So that's like, I'm just reiterating that it is so true. And then also with the staffing, like, we're already understaffed. Like, as Sharif was saying, like 4 to 5 nurses. There's supposed to be like at least 6 already. Like, on Friday, my shift on Friday, they were already telling me to go home because, like, you're not doing anything. But I'm like, you need at least 3 people to run a code, and then the triage nurse does not count. So what I'm trying to say is, like, everything they're saying is so true. I want to stay at Seton for long term. I love everyone there. It's even like people in the laboratory and like radiology who not are my coworkers, but like ancillary staff. It's just such a cool and chill place to work at. But I do feel like really unsafe because I have no one to ask questions to like tell me if I'm doing stuff right. So that's lightweight, such a harm to patient safety. Thank you so much for letting me speak.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Going once, going twice. Okay, we're closing the public comments. So thank you for spending the evening with us. I know it's a late night and to take time out of your time to, outside of your families and loved ones to come out here and share your perspectives is something I appreciate along with my colleagues, so thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a,
Mayor,
yes,
I just want to pull one item, item 4.
item 4.
That's it.
Okay, thank you for coming out, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. So the consent agenda, and with the exception of item number 4, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve besides number 4.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Newman.
Good evening, Dr. Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, and council members. Item number 4 is the fiscal year 2025 annual report on collection and use of developer public facility fees. AB 1600 developer public facility fees are revenues derived from developer fees that are restricted to infrastructure expenditures for expansion and enhancements necessitated by new development. The use of the fees is established in the city's capital budget during each budget cycle. These fees provide a portion of funding for various eligible projects and priorities established by the adopted budgets. State law requires the city to segregate its public facility fee revenue and not commingle it with other city funds. To meet this requirement, the city has established a separate public facilities fees fund, specifically to track the collection and use of public facility fees and to allocate interest earned. State law also requires this annual report to be brought before the governing body for approval. The balance in this fund as of June 30th, 2024 was $5,015,416. During fiscal year 2025, revenues totaling $760,767 were received from developer fees, and interest of $248,963 was earned. A total of $941 was transferred out of the AB 1600 fund to the Capital Improvement Fund for storm drain use, and $95,919 was transferred back to the AB 1600 fund from projects that did not end up utilizing all the funds. The ending balance in the fund as of June 30th, 2025 was $6,120,153. Complete details on all capital projects funded by public facility fees can be found in the city's capital budget. Staff recommends the City Council approve the annual report on the collection and use of developer public facility fees for fiscal year 2025. Staff is available to provide any additional information desired by the mayor or council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Nevin.
Mayor, thank you. So thank you, Mr. Nevin. Is there any way to have this on the screen at all, or if not, that's okay. Leilani, the numbers for the. Thank you for your work. I just have a quick question. So one thing, just real quick, thank you for all this, Mr. Nevin. You're always very clear and giving everything, such a great report. My question is that under the AB, on the, this one right here, is there any way that, that we are able to increase our own, I know we have the law that we adopt, but I'm sure, is there a way we can create our own, and increase our own developer fees? On some. Thank you, thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
In November 2024, council
Right, we did, right.
did approve an updated Nexus study, and rates for all fees except for hotels were increased at that time.
Right. So then you're just going to watch the trend and see how it goes?
That's true. We will be reporting to council in terms of additional fees collected through that process of new fees.
Perfect. And I appreciate your hard work and your very, very detailed information that we get when we receive reports from you. It really helps a lot. They've been more detailed since you've been on board. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you. All right. With that, can I get a motion to approve item number 4?
Motion to approve item number 4.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Item number 13. Second reading of ordinance number 1484, repealing and replacing chapters 15.00, 15.08, 15.10, 15.12, 15.14, 15.16, 15.20, 15.22, 15.24, 15.32, 15.60, and 15.65 of Title 15 of the Daly City Municipal Code, subject Building Code.
I'll report on this second reading. This is an item coming for the council. We did present this item as an introduction at the last regularly scheduled meeting. This is an ordinance adoption by roll call vote for second reading ordinance number 1484, repealing and replacing several chapters of Title 15 of the Daly City Municipal Code regarding the building code.
Sorry about that. I just lost my. All right, so are there any questions for this second reading of the ordinance or feedback? Seeing none, can we get a motion to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Second?
So, Ms. City Clerk, if we can get a roll call vote, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Ms. Perano?
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester?
Glenn Sylvester, aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Appointments, Board Commission Membership Committee appointments. Are there any appointments? Seeing none. Proceeding to item number 14, Council Committee reports. Are there any Council Committee reports?
I think we did.
What's that?
We had some council committee reports. We recently had a meeting with Vice Mayor and I in regards to the Bay Shore development. That was just this past week. And I think what will be forthcoming to the whole council regarding the parcel that we currently own that is slated for affordable housing. What happened was Bridge Housing, to date, you all know, had to let go of their ENA in that point. And then we had the two developers come and present. Good Housing, was it Good Housing? And also Legacy, a Legacy, to inform my colleagues that Good Housing recently withdrew. And so now the only candidate for that affordable housing or mixed-use development is a Legacy.
Wow.
And then staff will be bringing forth some of the work that we've directed them, Vice Mayor and I, to do, and then we'll be coming to full city council.
Great.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to add on to that. I'm just so happy that Councilmember Manalo is a part of this committee, because if there's anything about affordable housing and the building of affordable housing, I have to give her credit. As Councilmember Manalo had stated, we've had issues before in the past with other developers, and we give them an ENA, and subsequently, we wait, and then nothing happens. So one thing Councilmember Manalo didn't say, and I will say it, is we're going to prepare, and city attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to prepare for an ENA, but we're going to put timeframes. Instead of it just being open like 1 or 2 years or something like that, we're going to try to establish timeframes with certain checkpoints along the way so that we make sure that they are going to do or will do what they say they'll do, even to providing a performa, funding, which I think is very important. So I have to credit Councilmember Manalo for that, because that just flew right over my head, and I think that's very, very important. So thank you, Councilmember Manalo.
Well, thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm glad that we get to work on that committee together. We've been on the council for quite some time, so we've been waiting for some developments, and we're like, we need to have some checks and balances so that we're not on an empty land, right? So thank you for that.
Thank you to Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester and Councilman Manalo for providing that input. I'm glad that we have a candidate that's that we can all now move forward with. Yes. Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
All right, Councilmember Manalo, you done?
Yes.
For the committee? All right. You all might have read the news that the San Mateo County has offered to put in money to move forward with the development of 493 Eastmore.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And 493 Eastmore, is that Sullivan and
Yeah.
Eastmore, that big old vacant lot? So we're going to move forward with that. Daly City, through the council, has provided some matching funds along with HEART, to which I'm on that board, Housing Endowment and Regional Trust of San Mateo, which helps first-time home buyers to buy homes. But this particular project, if I'm not mistaken, is 100% affordable. 100%. And there's more to come on that, because they're going to get certain credits, tax credits. In other words, we're moving. So I just wanted to let you know about that. I'm going through my papers here. Mosquito Vector Control District, to which I represent our city at. We had a meeting on November 12th. Everything appears to be okay. Aedes aegypti is, we haven't had any issues. I made a note somewhere and I'm trying to find it. We checked for West Nile virus, and we 543. So if you have a dead bird, make sure you report it. We want to, mosquito vector want to examine the bird, so if you should see it, because the dead birds are carriers of West Nile virus, and they will test. but we've been pretty lucky in our district. I think there was 543 birds died, and 103 were tested, and none of them had West Nile. So, and now you remember I talked quite a bit about mosquito vector was one of the first to invest its money in Cal Class rather than San Mateo County. And the good and the bad is that San Mateo County was paying something like 3.49%, and investing in Cal Class, we were making close to 5.49%, and we have a 24-hour liquidity if we need the funds. If you invest in San Mateo, it takes 45 days to get funds. So I kind of pushed for Daly City to get into Cal Class, and I believe our treasurer has looked into a similar investment. And I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I believe since we got into Cal Class, we made close to over $1 million in like 2 years. So it's a good investment. I just want to let you know that the San Mateo County Mosquito and Vector Control District is well-funded, it's well-stabilized, and everything is secure. So we're even building a new building down in Burlingame. So everything is looking up. Don't forget, they don't just handle mosquitoes, they handle rodents, raccoons. If you have any of those issues, call them because you're paying for it out of your homeowner's tax, and part of that money goes to fund the San Mateo County Mosquito and Vector Control District. So try to keep that in mind. It's a service that not many folks in Daly City take part of, including beehives. Kids play in the high school and they see a hive on the field and they think it's a ball and they kick it. So, get become aware and just know that this is a service and it's free. Okay, so I'll try to keep you up to date every time we meet, especially on all the different like tick seasons and stuff like that. Thank you, Mayor. I have fun doing this. I love mosquito vector control. Thank you.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. Any other commission? Okay, so I attended the
Peninsula Clean Energy.
November 20th Peninsula Clean Energy update, or Peninsula Clean Energy meeting on Thursday, November 20th, and there's a few things I just want to highlight. One of the highlights that I want to share is that we just approved the strategic plan for next year. And so the strategic plan began in September 2024 with input from various stakeholders, and it facilitated multiple sessions. And so some key elements of the strategic plan was to build a mission, vision, and guiding principles. So the mission is to provide affordable, clean electricity and advance local solutions that lower costs, reduce pollution, and strengthen community. Their vision is to build a fossil-free future where everyone thrives with accessible and affordable clean energy, with the guiding principles of environmental impact, customer-focused approach, economic development, and driving innovation. One of the 5-year goals that they want to accomplish is double annual GHG, or greenhouse gas reduction, to 100,000 metric tons by 2035, maintain high customer engagement and satisfaction, deliver $100 million in customer savings, and invest $150 million in local projects. Execute contracts for 500 milliwatt of new renewable to minimize fossil fuel reliance. Secure $20 million in grant funding for equity-focused programs. Expand local solar storage and virtual power plant incentives. And so we approved that, and PCE has grown so much so fast in its 10 years. PCE went from being serving just our county alone to now expanding to Los Baños. And so there is a current rebrand that's happening as well. So 2026 represents the 10th year anniversary of PCE, and we're gonna be expecting a rebrand and also a new location that's in the works. The other thing that we passed is that we're up for a project to, a state project to provide funding for, if it gets approved through the state, and it's approved to contribute about 60% of the forecasted project for both Pescadero and Half Moon Bay communities to develop, it's called a micro, what's it called? Micro grid plant in those areas because of the high blackouts in that area. So, and plus they're so secluded, and sometimes when there's large storms, it'll get knocked out and their grid will just be knocked out. So having a microgrid for both Pescadero and or Half Moon Bay. So they're putting up two proposals. They're seeing which one will be more competitive. And I was like, hey, what about Daly City? Not sure. And they're like, we did an assessment and we found that Pescadero and Half Moon Bay were the ones that have most in need. And so if you're unfamiliar with community microgrids, they're energy systems that power multiple customers and critical facilities within a defined boundary through a clean solar and battery storage system that directly connects the utility distribution grid, also called the front of the meter system. So we approve that. So it's a very, very competitive process. There are multiple proposals across the state. And for San Mateo County, we're putting up two proposals for Half Moon Bay and Pescadero. So we'll see. We don't know what the feedback, if we're gonna get the grants, but if we do, we'll have some money from PCE to supplement the 60% for that microgrid. We also, because of that growth of PCE, we are evolving from a startup to now a 10-year, decade-long organization. One of the things that was very, very critical, important to the growth of PC was the Community Advisory Committee. But through its studies, we found that because we are growing so big and the lack of representation from different places that cover PC, like Los Baños to North County, we sunsetted the Community Advisory Committee, even though they're like specialists in the field and they care so much. And there's a lot of people that go through that committee, end up becoming elected officials in their respective municipalities. But one of the things was, what was the best way to serve PCE's needs with our growth and the lack of representation of different parts of our county? And so what we're going to be moving to is to convene 6 meetings per year to raise awareness of PCE. We're going to invite participation from 50+ community-based organizations and individuals, including the current community, including the Community Advisory Council right now. So a lot of those folks feel kind of, it's like bittersweet for them because they see the value of having a committee, but then also the growth. But that doesn't take away their involvement in this new community feedback forum. And so it gives PC some flexibility to participate in formats that are also permitted by the Brown Act. Because of the Community Advisory Committee being within the parameters of the Brown Act, they can't they can't delineate outside the agenda items. And so that becomes a crucial issue, was they would have to talk about one issue and they want to talk about another issue, but because it's not part of the formal agenda, it cannot be spoken about. So it gives flexibility and expansion of how to dialogue amongst these issues. And so it passed with a good majority, and but with some constraints on some of the restrictions was to revisit this in a year and to see if this works. If this works, then we see how we can retool it, or we could change it and revert back to the CAC format. So we're just giving some chances to grow with PCE and advancing more feedback, but also some reservations if it doesn't work out the way we expected it to. Yeah, so that's my council committee reports. Going off to item number 15, any city council reports?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Mayor, if we can go back to
Oh,
council
Council
committee.
Committee. Yes,
Yeah,
go for it.
I think we're merging everything.
Yeah.
So also, Vice Mayor and I sat on the Affordable Housing Committee, and we did have a meeting, so 2 meetings in that week, right? And so in regards to, I think it was in regards to staff having to be able to, what do you call it? Comply, right?
Compliance.
In compliance. And so they wanted to give the Affordable Housing Committee an update in regards to some compliance issues regarding some deliverables the city of Daly City will provide. And staff looked at deliverables that are, I would say, that is reasonable and that are in the pipeline, but also aligned with our city's goals, right?
Yes.
So I know that was it. And then I also, since we're talking about affordable housing in the committee, I also want to tack on to what Vice Mayor mentioned. And I want to acknowledge Supervisor David Canepa when he talked about the housing on Eastmore. Through his leadership, was able to purchase the property. And so, I mean, it's huge. It dovetails on what we're talking about when we entitle a project for so long and then the financing doesn't quite happen, because we've been waiting for that to come for a long time. So I just want to acknowledge his vision to see something which we've entitled as a city come to fruition. And I know that also Hart has given dollars to it. We've also supported it for those deeply affordable units. So it's very exciting to finally see not just an empty lot, but that moving forward in that respect. So, thank you, Mayor.
Right, thank you. Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. You see, this is good. When you work together, you chime in off each other. Thank you, Councilmember Manalo, for that. On the issue that you had spoke about, basically, we wanted to make sure that Daly City is in compliance with special areas that is designated transit-oriented development. And what I mean is that any sort of development that's within a half mile of any transit line, there are certain qualifications in order for Daly City to receive funding, for the project to receive funding, I guess from the state or other sources, that we meet certain requirements just on transit-oriented development within a half a mile of transit. And that even includes parking. You know, on top of the hill, the big unit on top of the hill, the big one.
Yeah.
You know how big that place is? It's big. It's got a lot of units. You know how many parking spots are there? 51. And you know why it's only 51? Because it qualifies as a transit-oriented development. I mean, you have seniors who live there, and maybe they don't take transit that much, but we try to keep all those things in mind, and not all of Daly City is going to be transit-oriented development projects, but only a certain few. And I believe 493 Sullivan or Eastmore will be one of those, even though staff, when you have a development, they say you must offer X number of parking spots. But a lot of developers try to comply, and if it's TOD, they won't have to. However, developers will still try because they got these new systems, I don't know the right word, but they call stacking. So if it's, stacking, you know stacking? Yeah, one on top of each other. You drive your car on, the ramp goes up, you put the car underneath, and it takes up the same amount of space as one parking spot. So so it's good. So I'm glad that Councilmember Manalo and I met on that because we're learning a lot from staff. So kudos to staff and planning and everyone. And it also keeps us abreast with the laws pertaining because there are some issues to which we as council cannot do anything about, and it's the law. So it's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. All right, moving on to city council reports.
Well,
Councilmember Perano.
hi, everybody. So many of us attended the annual Daly City Como Chamber of Commerce bowling. It was so much fun. The best part about that is that the chamber, through their foundation, raises money for scholarships for our Daly City Como residents, graduating high school seniors. And so that was a lot of fun. I just want to say how much fun that was. I'll make that quick. I wanted to say congratulations to the Office of the City Clerk because passports are going to start passing through.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
is awesome. So may I say that? I attended the annual pancake brunch Dolger Senior Center on Saturday, as well as quickly went through to the craft fair and ended up buying something from the seniors. Yes, I know. If I had more time, I would have bought more. It was dangerous. But my favorite part about that was seeing the quilts that the Dolger Senior, there's a club, and they're beautiful, and I got some beautiful kitchen towels as gifts. So that was really, really nice. Ceremony tree lighting, that was fun. So that was also fun. We got to watch the Daly City Fire. Oh, let me back up. Congratulations, I'm sorry on that, I went too quick. For the pancake breakfast, our police, our fire, right? And also our recreation staff. The best pancakes, by the way.
Oh,
Best pancakes, I will say. I don't know, did you get to eat, Pam?
Oh, no.
No, you didn't eat?
No, but they put, some of them put the, what was that on the side? It was like.
The peach.
Yeah, the peach.
Opal
They
made
put
the
it on
peach.
pancakes.
Yeah, it was
To add
delicious.
extra flavor.
Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah, Opal made it. It was really, really good.
But they were delicious.
Yeah, no, yeah, I bought two breakfasts that ended up being lunch because there was so much food. But I wanted to also thank the police and fire. They were right there, and the staff, as always. Denise, congratulations. Ceremony tree lighting, I got to hang out with Councilmember Jesselyn Manalo, and we got to watch our fire truck come and bring Santa. And the best part about that was I didn't pull his beard, but I noticed that Jesselyn, he said, go ahead. And she tugged at his beard. It was a real beard. So that was really good. So that was great. And I wanted to put kudos out there for Ceremony Shopping Center, police, fire, everybody who showed up. It was really a lot of fun. I sat on the illegal dumping task force. Thank you, Leilani. It's a legal dumping task force. There's how many are there on that committee? 20? Maybe 15, 20? Staff from all of Daly City, from one, I don't have all their names, so, but everybody, it was really a great meeting. I attended the council cities dinner on Friday, Half Moon Bay. Jesselyn was there. We missed you, that you weren't there. Half Moon Bay, I realized I don't like driving at night. That's all I'm going to say. It was really nice. We had a really great speaker, and it was really nice to see other people from the cities. I will like to remind people that 2 events are coming up. One, the Frosty Snow, in partnership with the Daly City Department of Recreations. It's going to be Saturday, December 6th. It's coming up from 4 to 7 p.m. Lots of arts and craft, hot cocoa, cookie decoration, music, Santa, I'm guessing, because there's a special guest. It might be Santa. Might be a reindeer, and maybe we don't know, maybe. So that's that. And Also Pacific Islanders Together, that's coming up, 10th annual at the Bay Shore Elementary School, and that's December 20th from 9 to 12. And I was going to mention this, but should I save it for next time? Yeah. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Prano. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Did everything covered there, but I did want to add that even at the crafts, it was nice to see there was a lot of young people that just started crafting. And they were telling me the stories of how, like, some of them was their first show. And I thought that was impressive because it talks about a new generation who had never crafted at all. And this was their first show, and they're hoping that they can continue. And it's something so positive, even in the youth, to see that intergenerational seniors, there was all ages there. And then to hear the young people, I was like, this is fantastic. And they had all kinds of like books and things that they had created. And one young man, I believe it was the leather thing, Denise, some kind of leather things that he made with different little decals and stuff. I think he was on the second row. And then they had the music with the carolers as well. And then, so to me, it was well put together, and that to have that balance of, and things that you never see before. Right, Kelly? You never saw these kind of crafts. So,
I was afraid I was going to spend a lot of money but luckily for me, Chief Cameron, he reminded me when I was in there I needed to go to my next. So he got me out of there quick. I want to thank you. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh, may I, real quick, and sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to thank Lucky's store on Mission Street. They donated pumpkins to our pancake brunch event. So that was really nice of them. I'd gone in and he goes, do you know anybody who needs pumpkins? And I'm like, wait a second. So everybody was happy to get that. But anyways,
that's
thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
So just a friendly reminder, the money for the annual pancake, correct me if I'm wrong, please, Denise, that goes to there's a Dream Scholarship. Is this the one for this? Yeah, the Dream Scholarship. And it's a very important program because it's not very much money, but you're having a good breakfast. But that's important because not everybody can afford the classes, or we know people are struggling, and they get to decide, and it's a worthy cause. And I think you can donate throughout the year if you would like to. There's a way to donate as well, especially it's the Christmas season. And then you don't have to know the person to donate, but just think, you can give some senior or young person or family a gift of being able to be active in our community and to be exposed to some of the great programs that we have. So I thought that was great. And the police, of course, and fire. I saw the chief when he was going out the door, but they're always there. And of course, serving coffee. That's the primo coffee with Reyes. And so it's always proud. And then, the firefighters want to make sure their pancakes are perfectly round. So, but it was really good. And I think Councilmember Perron said, yeah, the craft fair, you definitely either don't take any money or just go through and try to pick and choose, right? But I thought that was great. Thanks, Councilmember Perron. Thanks, Mayor.
Are there any other city council reports?
I know,
I'll go after you.
okay, because I know Councilmember Ronaldo is working it. Anyway,
Vice Mayor Glenn Sebastian.
I don't have much in the area of community engagements, but I wanted to comment on Councilmember Perano on two things, okay? First of all, when Councilmember Perano, if there's an event and they're selling something, she always buys, always buys. And I've noticed that over the year. She's always buying. So if you have an event, make sure you invite Councilmember Perano, because she always buys, and she also contributes to raffle prizes also. And the other part I wanted to make mention to you, Councilmember Perano, illegal dumping task force. If there's anyone who should be a part of that task force is Councilmember Perano. Because if you see her on Facebook, she drives around the city and she takes pictures of mattresses and furnitures, and she says, this is not nice. And she does it. If you, so for those of you who have Facebook, make sure you make friends with Councilmember Perano because she does drive around the city. And for those of you who are watching us, if you see any dumping, we don't expect you to take action. That's what the task force is working out. What we want you to do is report it. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we have a
I hope.
contract with Republic Services. And if you report it, they have to pick it up in 72 hours. How do you report it? Daly City,
I hope.
I help. Just type in Daly City, I help, and they'll come up with the form and you can report it. All right? And they track each one of the requests that comes in so you can go back. What was ever done? What was ever done? And if they don't do something, you make sure you let us know. So I just wanted to put out those two things. Thank you, man.
Yes. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to report out that I was honored to speak on the Cafe Age Friendly event at Brisbane, and it was called Light Up Your Life. And as the city of Daly City, we talked about ensuring our people know about our food security programs as well as our congregate meals. And it was really wonderful to hear from all the other cities around their programs. It was also heartening to learn that because of our volunteer program here in the city of Daly City, we have so many amazing volunteers in all the different sites that Brisbane looked at one of our volunteer program as a model because they are now starting their own volunteer program. So that was really wonderful. I was in attendance with Tita Perla Arbrientos. I want to thank Leilani, our amazing staff, and Marie, who's also on the task force, was there. And I will say it was such a delight to be at the tree lighting at ceremony. One thing I realized is ceremonies temperature in the mall during the holidays has not changed since I was a child. Like if you no, it's warm. The heater inside, yeah. And I remember that being a kid, like when they always had the fountain, the old fountain, and I'm like, we have our coats. I'm like, but it's so hot, right? I'm like, I was brought back to my childhood. But the best part, as well as I will say, Councilmember Perano, was when our firefighters end up wearing the antlers. They had antlers they were giving away, and they were all they were all game, and they put it on. And I know that all the kids and all of those in the audience saw that as a treat as well. And Santa even had a poem. Right before he counted down for the tree lighting, what he said was a poem to light it up. I was like, okay, this is Santa was really great. And yes, I didn't pull it hard, but he goes, go for it. And I was like, oh, it was real. I mean, to me, that was real Santa. And then also, I met with Mid-Peninsula staff, and I just wanted to share with my colleagues, one thing I'm really grateful for is my experience around affordable housing, as mentioned early in my career. And I always want to incorporate what I've learned in the past to our community. And so when I realized Mid-Peninsula is doing their housing at Midway, I want to make sure our communities know when these housing opportunities are out there. So I'm so glad that I spoke with staff because there's going to be another opportunity for Midway, Village, the first housing opportunity to refill their wait list. And so I was like, oh my goodness, if we weren't able to connect with them, like, how do we know this information? And so I'm going to be working directly with them to figure out ways that we do our collaborative marketing so that our residents know, right? There's so many times our residents, when are these housing opportunities coming about? And so we're going to work together to figure out a plan so that when the flyers are out, number one, they're understandable digestible. And number two is that we're able to share that with our community members and ensure that we're on that list whenever they do those releases. So wanted to share that. And then also, even though it was a ways, Half Moon Bay was really nice. I did bring my daughter, and it was so funny because she goes, "Mommy, it's so quiet." We went through the 92. So she was like, "It's so quiet down the windy road," but she joined me as well. And so it was really great at the city of council meetings they're talking about, which has a lot of questions as well around innovative farming. And so the questions that were brought up is, how do you include the farmers that are already doing the work? If you're talking about the innovative ways to ensure that we have healthy food at an affordable cost, especially with the cost of just everything rising. So that speaker really talked about innovative ways so that, when you go to Whole Foods, it is a lot more expensive. But how do you make sure that it's more affordable for our communities? So I thought that was really wonderful. And then also was able to celebrate a little bit with the Malasaki Association for their Heritage Night. And then I also wanted to share that PBRC had a wonderful Thanksgiving giveaway. Our firefighters were there and police. They gave over 400 gift cards to those in need. And I brought my whole family. I said, "Look, we're gonna volunteer, and we're gonna give this away." Little Ethan carried the bags and put it in the car. So learning really what community service is all about. And so, and then All In SF had their classic, their Children's Day at the bowling at our Daly City Classic Bowl, which was really wonderful. They did a toy drive, and just really a time for organizations, children's and family, just to have, time for the children, and that was really wonderful. I wasn't able to attend a lot of the events that you mentioned last week because I actually was at the Working Families convening. I saw Council Member Tom Hamilton there, but it was learning about what other cities were doing regarding immigration, regarding housing. And one of the things I did learn from that convening at Riverside is this amazing public art program that they've been able to transform a lot of their spaces. And I mean, I hopefully, that's the vision for, we have one mural at top of the hill, but there's definitely some blank spaces that hopefully we can learn from what they did down there, and bring a lot more public art into our spaces. And then also another initiative that in the future, that I think it's so important for older adults, and I'll bring it formally to council, and maybe not daylight it here because I don't want no Brown Act, but I will share it with all of you. But it's really to help support our older adults, which was really great to hear from other folks serving up and down California. And then I also, last but not least, I want to thank the California Nurses Association, CNA, when they had reached out and they said, how do we do public comment, or how are we to express what we're experiencing? They reached out. I told them that we have our public comment. I also shared with them, thank goodness, back when we started, I would say like Vice Mayor and I, public comment was in the end. And now we've moved public comment to the front. And so thank you. I remember our city manager, Tom Piccolotti, making that shift and change to be able to have our public not wait until the end of our agenda. They were really grateful for that. I just wanted to share that history with them. But to our nurses that came today to express your concern, your care for our community, especially the patients. Thank you for making your voices heard and taking the time out this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. I have a couple of council committee reports, or city council reports. So number one, we're keeping the party alive at Seafood City. So if anyone to come, if they get bored during Thanksgiving weekend, make your way to Seafood City.
It's true.
On November 28th and 29th. November 28th, they're featuring DJ JU, MC Fran Boogie, and DJ Umami as their main DJ on November 28th. And then November 29th, with MC Preach alongside DJ WS Goodshell, DJ Rick Lee, and our honorary for Daly City Hip Hop for 2026, we have DJ Shortcut that will be presiding over DJ tables on November 29th. So if you're bored and you want to escape family drama from Thanksgiving, no, I'm just joking. Just want to enjoy yourself at Seafood City. They have those events going on, and they're also fundraising for the floods that are happening in the Philippines. Number two is it's Nutcracker season, so the Westlake School of Performing Arts is putting together their annual Nutcracker production. And if you want to purchase tickets, you can go to artistinmotionbayarea.org, and it's on December 13th and December 14th. And it's going to be at the San Mateo County Performing Arts Center. And then number three is just some upcoming dates. So December 8th will be our regular meeting, correct? Senior Manager, yes. And then December 9th is our Daly City reorg. So we're coming to a close as we settle and transition to the holidays and to the new year. So just want to give you that that information. And so before, are there any other city council reports?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, you reminded me, I will be going to the December 14th Nutcracker event, because I
right.
know that is when your daughter will be performing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, I
so
forgot.
I'm looking forward to that. And then also, maybe a good way we could tell folks is after dinner, if you want to dance off your your food,
Yeah.
that's it, right? Because it starts at 8 p.m. to midnight, right? At Seafood
Oh, yeah, Seafood
City.
City. Yeah.
And then just wanted to share, like, that's very exciting to see the young people practice, because at PBRC, right next to PBRC is all of the Westlake School of Performing Arts, and really the dedication of the young people. Oh my goodness, they were there from like morning all the way to the evening.
Yeah.
I mean, they really work so hard for that production. And so just wanted to say, I look forward to watching your daughter.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
my daughter's last one, so trying to end it with a bang. All right, Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Ronaldo. You brought up the issue about Seafood City. You know, I'm a fan. I must go there 3 times a week. And I've been there it's called Midnight Madness. And you say, oh man, what's that old guy going there? No. I'll leave that to the mayor. He dances. I go there and I eat.
He break dances.
And I watch and I watch everybody else and all the kids, and just watch them. A little hint: get there like 7:30, so you get your food and you just sit at the table, and the show starts at 8, and you just sit there and just watch. It's fun. It's I mean, just to see the joy and happiness of our future generation, our now generation. I mean, but I go there for the meal. But it's good. Seafood City. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, you got the tips there, Vice Mayor. Get there this time because the tables get filled.
Yep.
That is a tip. Because when you get there, it's already all filled. People hang out. They're buying their food. But before we close our city council meeting portion, I do want to say it is still our mayor's birthday month. And so I wanted to say happy birthday, Mayor. This is your birthday month.
Thank you.
And I hope, you get your celebrations for the whole month. I know next time we meet, it'll be December. So happy birthday month.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Ronaldo. Appreciate it. Okay.
I'm supposed to sing.
It's okay. We're all trying to go home, Vice Mayor.
Not sure about the
All right,
singing.
so before we close, we have a couple of adjournment memories, and I'm gonna throw it back to you, Vice Mayor.
Through the chair.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I forgot this. Yeah, I was trying to go
okay.
fast forward. Go right ahead. Staff reports.
I'll be really brief.
Yes.
City Hall will be closed Thursday and Friday in observance of the holiday. On December 4th, we have the employee tree lighting event
Oh,
here
yes, that's
at City
right.
Hall. That's at 3:30, followed by the Commissioners' Dinner at 5 at Westlake Joe. So just a quick reminders to get that in your book. That's all.
Thank you, City Manager. I totally escaped my mind. All right, so moving towards
Adjournment.
adjournment, I'm gonna throw it to Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have one. I made mention of the last council meeting, but I didn't have any information. I do have some information, and don't worry, it's not long, but it's a very important information, and thought you all should know. I'd like to adjourn in memory of Donna Alben. She passed away on the 7th of November, 2025, at the age of 91. She was born to Albert Leah, Minnesota, and she moved to Daly City and then to San Francisco. She leaves behind her daughters, Laura Walsh and Andrea Goslin, as well as her son-in-law, Thomas Walsh, and her grandchildren, Brendan Walsh, Sarah Walsh, Jacob Goslin, Lily Goslin, and her great-grandchild, Ella Goslin. She will be deeply missed by those who touched her life. Now, as a friendly reminder, Laura Walsh is married to council member Thomas Walsh of Coma, our neighbor. So I would like to acknowledge that and adjourn in her memory of her mom. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm gonna head it to Councilmember Justin Manalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, at the last meeting, I did share the words of Mariko's son, but I did get in contact with his wife and have the formal obituary to read. Mariko Enriquez filled every room with his positive energy, high-pitched laughter, and generous spirit that made everyone feel at home. He passed away peacefully on October 7, 2025, in Fairfield, California, at the age of 82. He is survived by his loving wife, Faye, and two sons, Marky and Melvin, who will remember him for his humor and deep commitment to family and community. Born on March 13, 1943 in Pasig, Philippines, Mariko was the youngest of 7 children of Valeriano and Teofila Enriquez. Having never met his father, he grew up determined to build a better life for himself and his future family. Through his hard work and perseverance, he earned his architecture degree from National University, class of 1967, before immigrating to the United States in search of opportunity. Mariko started his career as an engineer at Bechtel, but his true calling was people. He loved finding connections, creating opportunities, and helping others see their own potential. In 1978, he co-founded Tropical Quality Foods, one of the first companies to bring Filipino favorites like longanisa, tocino, and lumpia to homes across California. Later, he found success in the life insurance industry, where his mix of hustle and heart earned him top honors, and where he mentored countless others to do the same. Mariko's true legacy was his service to others. Deeply involved in the Bay Area's Filipino community, he dedicated himself to uplifting and empowering those around him. He worked alongside community leaders such as Commissioner Alice P. Bulos to help organize the Filipino American Democratic Club of San Mateo County and contributed to organizations including the Pasigueñans of Northern California and the Filipina Bayanihan Resource Center. In 2008, he was appointed to the San Mateo County Parks Recreation Commission, where he helped enhance outdoor spaces and community programs. He proudly served for more than a decade and was recognized by the County Board of Supervisors for his commitment to public service. His faith was central to everything. As a devoted member of Our Lady of Compassionate Protection and the Catholic Charismatic Movement, he believed God guided all his steps, lived each day with deep gratitude for his blessings, and Mariko lived life fully. He believed in laughter, community, and good food. He had a story for everyone, a joke for every occasion, and a gift for bringing people together, leaving everyone he met a little more joyful and connected. Thank you. And then also, I would like to adjourn in memory this evening for our state treasurer, Fiona Ma's father. And this is how she announced it to the public. On August 11th, my dad fell and hit his left side of his head, which resulted in a brain bleed. He spent a week in Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center, where the nurses and doctors were absolutely top-notch. After that, he spent 2 weeks at Kaiser Permanente San Francisco Medical Center, receiving excellent care, and then transferred to Santa Clara Valley Medical Center in San Jose for rehab. The speech and physical therapy teams worked with him 3 hours a day, and he made a remarkable progress the week of September 8th. But around September 19, he began to have a heart and lung issue and moved to progressive care floor. Even though all of this, he was so happy to celebrate his 87th birthday on September 27. After turning 90 in the last year, he declared he'd be 88 forever and walk backwards every day. Around his birthday, he spoke clearly for the first time in weeks and told us he wanted to go home. We hoped he'd get strong enough to return to rehab and keep working on improving his swallowing, speech, and rebuilding his strength, but his body gave out before his mind ever did. Early that morning, my dad peacefully crossed over the rainbow to join my mom and our fur berries. I know Bella will be happy to see him in heaven. He lived a remarkable life, growing up essentially on his own from a young age, earning 3 full scholarships for his bachelor's, master's, and PhD. He answered my mom's now or never call the day after she graduated from City College of New York, and they married. Had me, my brother Michael, and my sister Samantha. They were married for over 50 wonderful years. Dad always told us not to waste time and to always be on time. He was full of positivity, loved parties and gatherings. So, as our state treasurer says, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He had a true passion for researching stocks and selling covered calls and puts. He lived life fully, happily on his own terms. Rest in peace to Dr. Ma.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. And then our last adjournment, I'll share with city manager and staff.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. On November 9th, the City Hall lost one of our own, Nicholas Ray Dandridge, who was a fixture here at City Hall. Most everyone knew Nicholas. He just hang out here, peaceful, and he enjoyed drawing and he enjoyed conversing with all the employees. He had been missing for, we hadn't seen him for a couple weeks and didn't know that he had died suddenly. But his mom, who he frequently would ask me to talk to her on the phone. He wanted me to meet his mom. Just a kind soul. His mom showed up, so I finally got to meet her. Unfortunately, it was due to his untimely death. But you can put it up on the screen if anyone doesn't know who Nicholas is.
I do remember. Wow.
So he was 46 years old. Oh. Just a kind soul that was always here at Daly City Hall. This was his home. Yeah, he loved it here. Mm-hmm. There were times when he moved away that he would take Bart to come here and hang out here. He just loved being here in the rotunda. So he's going to be missed, and there's the page for, there's a GoFundMe, and there's the services up there as well. So going to miss him.
Wow. Wow. With that, if we can just offer a moment of silence for our journal in memory. All right, everybody, happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.